right, great. So welcome back to Facts and Two Cents, another episode. We are so excited to have you back. Thank you for all our followers, for those who've been signing up and, commenting. We appreciate you. So that's first and foremost. But I'm Pamela
and I'm Petol.
And this show, as usual, as you know, is for a core group of people. Megan, Harry, Prince of Montecito, Archie, Goddess of Montecito or Princess of Montecito,
Goddess of Montecito,
Queen Mother Doria, Hula Guy, and the chickens.
Exactly.
That's the core people that we talk about. We are biased and petty about it, so that's a disclaimer. So don't come for us and assume we say anything that you don't like, because we've already told you what we stand for. So
also, now on our site,
yes,
and I know people have some people have asked how they can support us, and brand new, there are ways. If you're interested, no obligation at all.
No obligation.
But please, if you're interested in support us, we now have PayPal and we now have a Cash App. It's on our show notes, so just click on there and you can find a way to support us if you want to. We'll be most grateful for it. But again, no obligation. But thank you guys for asking. We just appreciate your love. So
let's get it kicking. Harry's memoir, and actually I downloaded some few things I think we should talk about. This memoir has people shook. They're shaken and they're shook. They're shooken. They're just shook from head to toe, and some are just quiet because they know. I don't know, but Camilla Tominey, I haven't heard from her. I'm like, she is quiet.
Ever since we did the Camilla Tominey is a liar, she has ran away. She knows
she's been quiet. But Harry's memoir, I am so excited. And I want to read what, because I was reading, I was just so excited. Because the royals are worried Prince Harry could write about his stepmom, Duchess. That's the angle they're using, right? She says, it says, as expected, Prince Harry's upcoming memoir is causing all kinds of drama amongst the royals, despite the fact that it hasn't even come out yet. And they have no idea what he's going to say. But royal insiders tell the Daily Mail that the family is particularly concerned about what Harry might say about his stepmother, Duchess Camilla, who, that's my fake English accent, by the way, who, as anyone who watches The Crown knows, had an affair with Prince Charles while he was married to Princess Diana. Well, the truth always comes out. So, whatever you do in the darkness comes out in the light. So that's just basically what it is. According to the outlet, Clarence House is worried about what Harry could write about Camilla, especially as Charles is gearing up to eventually be king and she becomes queen consort. Let's be honest. Harry has never been close to the Duchess of Cornwall. I don't know if that's true, because I think Harry was one of the people who welcomed Camilla after a while into the family, because, that's what I read a while ago. But anyways, a source says, if he documents their fraught relationship in the book, it could be very damaging at a time when Charles is laying the groundwork for her to become queen. I don't want William to take over and overtake Charles. So which one is which? Another source claims that Prince Charles...
It changes every day.
Yeah. Another source claims that Prince Charles didn't know anything about Harry's memoir. Lie, because no. Harry spoke to the Queen. If Harry speaks to the Queen, Charles knows. Though this contradicts what a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex told Entertainment Tonight, saying that, as the outlet put it, Harry recently had a private conversation with his family. Oh, not even the Queen alone, but the whole family, with his family about the book, though he would not be expected to get permission for a project like this from the palace. Either way, it seems like the royals might be spiraling for literally no reason. Page 6 says Harry does not. Oh, a page 6 source says Harry does, in quotes, does not consider the memoir to be F-word you to his family, and that he would simply be telling the truth in the book. And even he made that clear in the statement, saying, my hope is in telling my story, the highs and lows, the mistakes, the lessons learned, I can help show that no matter where we come from, we have more in common than we think. In other words, the royal family should probably chill until they actually read Harry's book, LOL.
I love this on so many levels. First of all, I love the fact that this book is not coming out until, I want to read it right away, but right. I love the fact that it's not coming out until next fall. Why? Yeah. The royal family, Prince William and his cohorts at Kensington Palace decided to hold those fake bullying charges over Meghan's head until next year. And so I'm glad this is over their heads. Yeah. Because they don't know what Harry is writing. No. Yeah. And so I love the fact that he's doing this. Although Harry is such a gracious person, they are far more gracious than I feel like they should be.
It should be, yeah.
But read what it's like what Harry says against what the tabloids say it's going to be. For them, it's because that's what they would do.
But they would burn the family down. What Harry is saying, it's his story, it's his experiences. You are trying to deny him of his experience. But wait, you can write a book about him. All of you, and you name Angela Levin, liars. Write books about him, and we don't even know what you're telling is true. You claim you have sources, and the actual person wants to write his own story, and then you have an issue with it. Why would you have an issue with it if you weren't telling lies in the first place?
Exactly.
And you're afraid you're going to be exposed.
Exactly.
Right? Tina was reading something today, an African proverb, and it says, until a lion can learn to ride, the hunter takes, I'm paraphrasing, the hunter takes pride over that. So until a lion can learn to write his story, the hunter takes credit for what, it said. And I was like, I messaged in the chat, I was like, well, the lion is writing.
Exactly. The press keeps saying that, the reports keep coming out, oh, Harry's going to do this to his family, he's going to say this about this family. This is not about the royal family.
No.
The British media, they are scared because they know they will be outed.
Yeah.
That is what this is about.
Yeah, they're so scared.
Robert Jobson, all of yesterday has been tweeting these, things that, Harry better, you better be careful. Daily Mail has been writing all these things and he keeps retweeting them. Harry better be careful about what he says because he better not say anything against his Eton friends or his soldier friends because they're going to out him. He better, they have all this dirt on him. So if he says anything in his memoir, and Robert Jobson keeps retweeting all of these things. And so I tweeted back, I'm like, what is Robert Jobson so afraid of?
Yeah.
What exactly is he so afraid of? Yeah. Because he wrote that book, Charles at 70.
Yeah.
Where Prince Charles gave him unfettered access to all of his people. And in that book, he wrote some nasty things about William and Harry.
Yeah.
I think he's a little afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Him and Angela Levin.
Angela Levin says that Harry gave. I am waiting for Harry to say, you know what? I probably didn't even talk to Angela Levin. That it was a passing by, or I gave him 10 minutes also, and I didn't even answer. And I'm waiting, and then maybe he
and
probably
that
wouldn't
is why
say
you're
it.
all afraid.
Angela Levin is going to be so, I try to get my money back from her book because when I ordered her book, that was during the wedding. So I got the book. I'm like, oh, I want to know about, and I try to get my money back. They wouldn't let me. I'm like,
I have Amazon. The book because I have it for free. I got it for free on one of the credits on Kindle. I got it
Audible.
So that's why
I was trying to give my credit. I'm like, give my credit back. I don't want this book, but they wouldn't let me because I think I waited too long.
They've had the narrative of Harry's life, his whole life.
They all
and
have.
Now Harry gets to correct all of it.
The Lion of England.
Call them out as liars, and
the Lion of England is about to write his own book and his words, and all the sheep are scared.
That is why they're afraid. This has nothing to do with they're afraid for the royal family. No, this is about them. Robert Jobson knows he will never be able to write about Harry again.
None of them
won't be alive.
None of them can write.
None of them can write about him again. And that is it.
And you know, somebody made a good point. Again, I keep quoting Sessa Squad podcast because I was on it this morning, and somebody was saying in the live chat. No, I think it was Tina. I think Tina said it again. Sorry, Tina, I keep quoting you. That Harry, this book is Harry. Oh no, I think one of the squad from Italy was the one who was saying something. But anyways, but the book is about Harry's legacy for his kids. So the narrative will be once and for all stated. So when his kids grow up, they're not watching this YouTube and online things about things these idiots have said about him.
Right, exactly.
His own truth. So his kids can go back to the source and be like, this is what my dad said, and I believe my dad because this is his life and he lived it. So that, oh my God, it's getting people out of business because now they can never write a book because we will have a copy of that. We would be like, no, you're lying because page 5 or chapter 10.
This is what Harry said.
This is what happened.
Exactly.
So you're lying. And so they can't make any money.
They're all shaking because a lot of their narrative is going to be exposed. And this is what, again, I keep saying, this has nothing to do with what they think, Harry's going to say about the royal family.
No.
They know that their money, the grifting that they've been doing, using Harry and all of this, the royal family to make money, that is coming to an end.
Absolutely.
And that is what they're talking about.
It's dripping last minute. The last drips through the pipe is coming down.
That is what it is.
The well is getting dry.
Someone on Twitter actually, I wrote exactly this on Twitter, and then she sent me, it turns out earlier in the month, she literally wrote almost word for word what I had written. And I had not seen her tweet. So it's like, two, great minds think alike, I guess. Yes. If you want to call it great minds, a little bit.
Is she a squatty? Is she a squatty?
I had never noticed her before. So maybe she is, and I don't know everybody, and I don't follow a whole lot of people, so I may have just missed her. But she tagged me and retweeted my tweet, and then used her link so I could see. I saw her thread, and she was saying the same thing. It's kind of like no matter what they say, it's like, oh my gosh, what is it gonna do to the royal family? This is not about the royal family.
Yeah.
They know that Harry will out them. Harry even said when Oprah had questioned him, if the media still has control over him.
Yes.
And remember what he said? He said,
he says no. They're just afraid of the narratives.
To lose the narrative.
Yeah.
Because then the truth will come out.
Wow. Yeah.
And that is what, and you know what this girl said? She said, this, with all the things that they have criticized and critiqued and picked apart from Oprah's interview, no one in the British media has ever touched where Harry talked about the invisible contract.
Yes.
They have never talked about it.
Never. Yeah.
I think the ones who talk about
Richard Pamela, or whatever his name is, tried to kind of like fence around it, but he was exposed. Was like he had a tweet. He forgot that we can always go back and find his tweets, right? So he contradicted himself. But he was the only one, I believe, who was trying to like dodge the question, or I don't know if Chris Ship, also tried it, but
Chris Ship tried that with like, he was like, he even on his podcast, he's like, I never heard about, parts of the palace. And then of course we're like, you are a liar here, and they were trying to pretend that there's not. But other than that, no one has said a word. That is the one area that they've been like zip on because they know, and that's why every time I'm tweeting now, I am tweeting about that because I know that is the thing that's bothering them. And even
go ahead.
Robert Jobson, keep retweeting these things and these things about Harry should bet these like warnings to Harry, to intimidate Harry into not saying things, and he better be careful. The Daily Mail had the absolute nerve, gall, and audacity to write an article about Jonathan Dimbleby, palace bootlicker Jonathan Dimbleby, talking about Harry is there mean and nasty and whatever to the royal family. I'm like, is Jonathan Dimbleby senile? Did he just go see? I mean, maybe he's in his 70s or whatever. I'm like, did this guy forget he of Wales.
That's why you see when you made a statement earlier, you said you don't understand just the stupidity and the ignorance of them. This is what comes to play, right? This is what we're referencing, because it's like they don't realize that there's evidence. There is like, or maybe they're not on social media. They don't understand how social media works. Or how the internet works. I don't think they comprehend that, because all we need to do is just type your name and everything you've done pops up. And it's free.
And maybe at 70, you don't realize that. Jonathan Dimbleby, I have your book. Did you forget you wrote this book? And in this book, you and Prince Charles, who helped you write this book, trashed the Queen.
Yeah,
and tell the Queen
and Prince Philip
and emotionally distant. You trash Prince Philip. That Prince Philip
your own father
abused you. That he forced you to marry Princess Diana, something you didn't want to do. You helped Prince Charles trash his family.
And Princess Anne had to come and gaslight it and like defend the family. So it's like there's a book. There's a whole book. It's a whole book. It's not a tweet. It's a whole book of Charles going in on his family and how they treated him badly and why it's made him who he is. The whole book.
I know. Here.
Like, what is wrong with these people?
What is wrong with you people?
Like, seriously. Yeah, and I have to get into the habit of saying the UK, because it's not Ireland, it's not the other countries that make form the UK.
It's England.
It's England. What is wrong with you English people? Some of you, most of you.
Just like unbelievable. And then Rebecca English.
Oh, Father.
Rebecca English wrote this story yesterday or 2 days ago that Harry and Meghan, that Harry, signed this 4-book deal. And then it's so disgusting that she would do this, that, that one of them is going to be held back until after the death of the Queen. That is
so horrible.
It's so despicable. That is, of course, because of that, we started trending Rebecca English is a liar, because it was just like, this is about as despicable as you get. And I'm not a writer. I've never written a book, and I've never negotiated a deal with publishers, but I am pretty certain that what Rebecca English wrote in the Daily Mail, and somebody posted, and don't go clicking on it, because I wouldn't have known unless someone had posted an excerpt from what she wrote on Twitter. I am certain, 99% sure that in America, when you're dealing with Penguin Random House, this is not how they negotiate deals, where they fly in the middle of a pandemic, no less, fly to publishers from the UK, have others on, on Zoom or wherever, and then Harry is negotiating a deal with them and just basically tell them, this is the amount, $15 million, and take it or leave it. I am serious. I am absolutely 99.9% sure that is not how you do and negotiate deals at that level. When you have lawyers and when you have literary agents that negotiate those deals.
Exactly.
That is the stupidest thing I have.
Once again, you're making your own point, right? It's like, what is going on with these people that you can't even just read upon it, right? It's like, how does Penguin House, I'm sure it's on Google. If you say, how does Penguin House negotiate a book deal, it will come up.
I know.
I'm sure, I haven't done it, but I'm sure it is in Google if you do that. And it will give you.
I'm going to read this. It says, Harry led the negotiations from Montecito. Well, this is what the excerpt is up. Mm-hmm. 2 publishers flew out from London to see him, and others took part of the auction via video call, sources said. He conducted negotiations. He had a very take it or leave it attitude, and said an impeccably placed sauce in the publishing industry. He started the price at 25 million or 18 million pounds. And final figure was way up north of that, possibly as much as 35 to 40 million or 25 to 29 million pounds. Those involved were actually shocked by his approach, which was to look at them coldly and state his demand, 25 million. In Britain, publishing is still a rather gentlemanly industry. It's high stakes, but it is still conducted in genteel terms.
Yeah, really? I think they probably needed to go to theater and like, because they have too much stories in their mind that they need to like act out. And this is yet again someone who has all this lies and created a whole story in their mind. Transfiction, yeah. And then just wrote about it, and then people will buy it because people are so naive in some cases that they believe that. And that is why I'm glad Harry's people came out and be like, stop, no, that is wrong. Because even Chris Shipp, he said, oh, I hope Harry doesn't write a one-sided story. It is his memoir. It is his side of the story. It's his lived experiences. That's his side of the story. Hence, it's called a memoir.
When Chris Shipp posted the Daily Mail article, that article, that whole story was already debunked when he posted it. He knew that, but he posted it anyway.
Yeah.
And then under that, he posted that that was done for clicks, for engagement. He knew it was a lie, and he still posted. It's still there. I mean, at least when I saw it last, he knew it was a lie. If he changed it today, and he still posted it there. And it's stuff like that you're like,
yeah, it's like we know your game. We get your game, and yes, we engage with you because we feel like sometimes we need to push back and but we get your game. It's stupidity. We get your game. You're just ignorant. You want to make money off of it, and so we get the game. But and I think that's one thing that I feel like we talked about again today on the earlier podcast with Tina Dempsey. And Tina was saying we should stop. Yes, I think, in my opinion, I think we can still push back on individual royal roaders. But the bigger picture, Tina was saying, is we need to really stop the American media from hiring these people and because we have control here as Americans, right? And so if we need to write, if it's NBC, CBS, and whatever CNN, just the same way we did with Max Foster.
Right, yeah.
We should do the same. That is a bigger game plan that we should have the names down. Be saying, hey, why do you constantly have this white, journalist on the show talking about the royal family when we have Black journalists? Your whole ethos and your whole mission is to diversify each and every one of these companies. So what happened to that? Why don't we see enough, Black representation journalists from the UK that you're interviewing?
Right.
What is going on with that? Right. So that is exactly a bigger picture. And I think it's a huge deal. I think she's onto something where we need to Yeah,
I think it was great that we outed, Rebecca English, but I think we need to trend the what Meghan and Harry are doing.
So thank you so much for listening, and we're so appreciative of each and every one of you. Please don't forget to share this video, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, hopefully, give it thumbs down, still, either way. And your comments are welcome. Obviously, we will respond or get in there. I will like it or comment if I can. But we'll all comment one way or the other. But thank you so much for subscribing to our show. We really appreciate you. And those buddies, you're great.
Yes, thank you guys.
Bye.
Until next time.
Au revoir. Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah.